Namaste everyone. Welcome to Hatha Yoga practice together tonight. Let's commence our practice seated comfortably. Lengthen through the spine, the back of the neck, tuck the chin just slightly, shoulders down and back. Relax the hands on your knees and we'll join together with 3 Oms. So bringing our hands to heart center, let's inhale together and exhale for Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Rest your hands down onto your lap. Just sit here for a few moments with your eyes closed. Bring your intention to commit to the next hour's practice of yoga, a flowing yoga, with some more poses in stillness towards the end on the mat. If you've never done yoga before, take responsibility for your body. Be aware not to push too far and injure yourself. Make the pose fit your body, not your body fit into the pose that I'm making. So make it feel good for you. We're going to immediately come down into child's pose. So take yourself onto all fours. You can choose to have your knees together or knees wide. And then I want you to sink your tailbone down towards your heels. Then just gently lower your chest towards the floor, walking the hands out in front of you. Rest the head down to the mat. And just take a few big deep breaths in and sigh out any tension. Whatever brought you to your mat today, I hope you find something in the practice that fulfills that need, whether it's power or relaxation, or just to feel the body move in different ways. Let the mind center just on the practice, taking away other outside external thoughts. Whatever brought you to your mat today, just enjoy it. If you feel the need to just stay in child's pose for the next 60 minutes, that's fine by me, no one can see you. A couple more big deep breaths in here and just some long exhalations. So just lengthen out that exhale. Take a little pause before you inhale again. And a long, slow exhale. Okay, rising up onto our knees. Bringing our hands under our short shoulders, coming up onto all fours with our knees and feet in line with our hip bones. And our hands a little bit wider under our shoulders, spread our fingers. Long straight neck, tummy pulled up. Then we're just going to inhale, drop our belly, bring our heart forward between our collarbones and look up for our cow pose. And then as we exhale, we're going to tuck our tailbone down towards the floor, arch our middle back up, push up between the shoulder blades, push out of the hands for cat pose. Starting again at the tailbone, dropping the belly. Inhaling as we come forward, looking up, exhaling as we're curling up and under. So just in your own flow, try and make a nice slow, fluid movement. feeling all 5 knuckles and fingertips gripping into that mat, creating a really strong foundation. Tops of the feet firm into the earth. And when you're ready, come back to a nice flat straight spine and just have a little bit of a wriggle round in whatever fashion that you would like to. You can sway the hips from side to side. You can lean back, stretch out the arms. Come forward a little bit, whatever takes your fancy. Make some circles with the bottom or the hips. Just loosening up whatever part of you feels a little bit tight. We'll just go into one more cat, looking forward, dropping the belly. And one more cow, pushing up, arching up. And then coming back to neutral, tucking the toes under, pushing up into our first downward dog. So your first downward dog, your knees might remain slightly bent if you're really tight in the back of the legs, pushing away from the hands. Pedaling the feet if you would like. Pulling our belly up. And then drawing our thighs back and up behind us. Let's take a slow walk forward with our feet until we've brought our feet up in between our hands. And then just hang forward. Ragdoll your arms if you like, so join your hands into your elbows. Little sway from side to side. Make sure your head's relaxed, maybe nod yes and no. Rocking around on all 4 corners of the feet. Swaying sideways, forwards and back. Lift up your toes, feel the balls of the feet into the mat and the heels, and then gently just place the toes down onto the mat. Bring your hands to heart center and slowly roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Okay, hands down by our sides, standing in Tandasana. Feel your feet firmly into the mat, lift your kneecaps, draw in the belly, shoulders are back, heart's lifted. Inhale, take your arms above your head, you can look up if you like. Exhale, bring your hands down by your side. Inhale, go with the flow of the breath, inhale up, exhale lower. Ideally breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, but whatever way you can breathe, it's fine. This time as we breathe in and go up, we can go up on our toes just slowly. See if you can take a pause of breath at the top and exhale slowly down. We'll try again with that one. Inhale going up. Pause at the top. Exhale, come down. One more. Moving our arms with the breath. Okay, coming to the top of your mat, 1 foot back, distance back from the top of the mat. Feet about hip width apart, so run your hip bones down and have your feet firmly on the mat. We're just going to inhale our arms above our head. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center, hinge forward at the hips until we come into Uttanasana or forward fold. Halfway lift, lift the heart forward, backs parallel to the mat, forward fold. Bend the knees, circle sweep the arms up above the head, and we'll go again, hands down through heart center, hinge forward at the hips. Hands to the shins or the feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up and around. above your head. Exhale, down through heart center, fold forward, straight spine, heart lift forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Okay, from here we place our hands by our feet. Step one foot back, then the other. Drop your knees if you like. Chaturanga, lower yourself all the way to the mat. Uncurl the toes, inhale. Keep the elbows tucked in, raise the chest, cobra pose. Hands are down near, under your shoulders. Lower down. Either coming onto all fours and pushing then up into downward dog, or a little bit harder, push straight up into downward dog or meeting downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Look forward, walk the feet slowly between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Circle sweep the arms up above your head and down through heart center, folding forward, hinge at the hips, Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Hands to floor, Chaturanga. Chaturanga Dandasana. It is a pose. You can drop your knees if you like. Go all the way to floor or for cobra, or flip the feet over. Come up, upward facing dog. Knees and thighs engaged but not on the floor. Step back, downward dog. Taking your right leg in the air. Bring your right knee right into your heart. Come forward over your shoulders, over your wrists. And then step that foot forward by your right hand for a lunge. Up on your fingertips, might be able to let, so we're not dumping down onto that right knee. So we're in a low lunge. Place the left hand on the floor, lengthen through the spine as you open your right arm up to the ceiling for a twist. Big deep breaths here in your twist. Hands to floor. Your choice, back into downward dog and stay there, or chaturanga, down we go. All the way for cobra pose or upward facing dog. Push back, downward dog. Couple of breaths here. Left leg comes into the air for three-legged dog. Pushing the right heel towards the mat. Bring the left knee into the heart. See if it can touch. Arms, the shoulders are over the wrists. Step forward, left leg forward for a lunge. Up on the fingertips. Couple of breaths. Place your right hand down on the mat. Lengthen through the spine, open the left arm up into the air for a twist. Bring the hand to the floor, step straight back to downward dog or chaturanga. Take your vinyasa. Cobra or upward facing dog. And then meeting back in downward dog. You may walk your feet forward between your hands or look forward, bend the knees and lightly jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, bring the arms up, around the side and down through heart center. Good job. Okay. Off we go again. Inhale, arms above your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, frame the feet with your hands. Step your right leg back into a high lunge. This time as you inhale, raise the hands above the head. Warrior one arms, but we're in a lunge. If you need to drop the knee to the floor, do so. If you need to bend that back knee, that's fine. Get a little bit more of a stretch as we straighten it. Inhale, grow tall with those arms. Exhale, drop that back heel, turn the foot around, come into warrior two. Gaze over the front hand. Inhale, reverse warrior. Take the left hand up over the head. Take your right hand behind your back. Looking down at your back right foot, which is nearly at right angles to the front foot. Coming back to warrior one. Keep your arms at the side. Turn your right heel in and your left heel out so that you're facing five-pointed star to the long edge of your mat. From here, take the hands to the wrist, squat down, lunge over to the right, as far down as you can go, and lift the toes of the left foot. If you can't go all the way down, just lunge towards your right. Come back, five-pointed star. Turn the foot around, warrior two, facing your left. Reverse warrior, left arm up in the air, right arm behind the back. Back to warrior two. Sink a little lower if you can. Push into the outside edge of that back leg. Bend your right arm, come down into side angle. Swing the right hand down, circle it up so it's over your right ear. Leaning our left elbow on our left knee. Try not to dump all our weight. Lift and lengthen up through our body. Support ourselves through the long torso. A few breaths here. If you'd like to start to straighten your left arm down towards the floor, there's nothing special about the floor, but if you can, get a little lower. Still keeping the right hip back. Not turning over to face the floor. We've got our right shoulder pulled back behind us. Making a long line from our right ankle up to our right hand fingertips. Swing that right hand down to the floor. Take the left hand outside of the left foot. Step back into downward dog or child's pose for a rest, or go through your vinyasa flow. Plank, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog, and all meeting back in downward dog. Well done. Just staying in downward dog for a couple of breaths while I turn the temperature of this room down. And hopefully you've sunk into child's pose. If you were too tired in downward dog, child's pose is always an option. Now we can walk our feet towards our hands and hanging forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms up above our head and down through heart center. All the way down, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, heart forward, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, step back our left leg into our runner's lunge or crescent lunge. Inhale, bring the arms up over the head for the other side. Couple of breaths here. Staying where you are, I'm just going to face the other direction so you don't have the lovely sight of my back. Okay, dropping the left heel down, bending our front knee, coming into warrior two, Vibdrasana B. Drop those shoulders away and down our back. Try and draw our right hip back, but open our left hip. Let's inhale our right hand up and over our head for a reverse warrior. Take your left arm behind your back if that's comfortable. Look up at your right hand or down at your back foot. Keep that front knee bent. Come back to warrior two. Let's turn our right toes towards the long edge of our mat and our left toes out. So we're into five-pointed star. Bring our hands to our hips, drop down as much as we can, and then lunge over to the left, lifting our right toes. You might need to bring your fingers down to the mat. Your right heel, your left heel may lift. Coming back to center, coming up, and back into warrior two. Inhale, right hand overhead for reverse warrior again. And then coming back into warrior two. Dropping the right elbow down onto the right knee. Swing the left hand down and up and over our left ear for side angle. If you'd like to drop that right hand down towards the floor, but don't just collapse and dump into that side. There's no point reaching the floor if we're not using our core muscles to hold our spine strong. Swing that left hand down, frame the front foot. Step back into downward dog and rest there, or child's pose, or take your vinyasa. Lowering to the floor or upward facing dog, cobra pose, bhujangasana. Step back, downward dog. Staying here in downward dog for a few breaths, just check out how you're feeling. Are we flowing or are we exhausted? Again, you can walk your feet forward to between your hands, or you can bend your knees, look forward and lightly hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle the arms up to standing and hands down through heart center to your side. Oh, well done everyone. Okay. We're coming into Uttanasana now, or chair pose. So we're going to either have our feet hip width apart, if that's more comfortable, or joining our big toes and our heels close together, but not necessarily perfectly touching. Then we're going to bring our hands to heart center and sit back. So we want to sit our bottom back, but keep our tailbone pointing down to the ground rather than out the back. So we need to draw in our belly, draw our ribs and our hips together. Actually, I might come up the other end. So sitting back in your Uttanasana. See if you can sink a little bit lower. Okay, now we're going to tighten our belly, keep our spine long, and twist and place out the outside of our left elbow down on our right knee for a chair twist. So still keeping a straight back, using that elbow against the knee to lever against and twist up towards the sky. Try and check that our knees, one knee's not rocking forward. Keep them glued together. Then we're going to do something tricky. We're going to see if we can put our weight through on our right leg and lift our left leg up behind us. See how you go with the balance. Place it down again, have another practice. Lifting it up behind us, and then see if you can step back into a lunge. And you're now in a twisted lunge. If not, just come up, step back, and then twist. Got some glorious rain outside. Okay, taking your hands down to frame just in front of your front foot. We're now going to either walk that left foot in or lift it straight up in the air for a half standing split. Or a full standing split. So, taking that leg as high as you can in the air, not dropping all our weight into our hands, just using our hands for balance. Some people might even be able to grab their right leg with their right hand, or even grab the leg with both hands. I'm not going to attempt that. Take some big deep breaths and see how high we can lift that leg. Two more breaths here, hang in there. Try not to push through those toes too much, keep them relaxed. And then bring that left leg down beside your right foot and just hang. You can grab your ankles and pull your crown of your head to the floor. You might even get your middle finger and index finger and wrap it around your big toe and fold forward. Okay, release the toes and then just slowly roll up like we started the practice. Whew. Gracious, I feel like I'm in a Bikram class. It's that warm in here. Anyone that's doing it by their fire would be feeling the same. Okay, we've got the other side to do. So back into our Uttanasana, so our feet together. I've just come up the other end of the mat, but you don't need to. To heart center, join our knees together and sit back in our chair pose. This time we're going to twist to our left, so we're taking our right elbow down by our left knee, long spine, and twisting around to our left. See if we can look up at the sky above us. Keep drawing those shoulders away from our ears and drawing our belly muscles in. Take some nice deep breaths here. Okay, now we're going into our balance practice. So see if you can take your weight into your left foot and lift your right foot. Have a practice. Lower it down. A bit wobblier this side, and then again lift it again, and then we'll step back into our lunge with our right foot behind. So lift again, hold it there, and see if you can step back and maintain your twist. Yoga's not all about balance, it's about learning how to fall and get back up again, like life. Okay, releasing our twist, place our hands down on the floor near our front foot and come up into our standing split. Right leg in the air. Breathe away, find your edge. Couple more breaths here. See if you can just find that little bit more of an edge, lifting the legs slightly higher. And then release the foot down and hang in your Uttanasana again. Again, peace fingers around the big toe or hands around the ankles. And then let's roll up one more time. Oh, well done. Okay, just place your hands on your belly for a moment. Shut down your eyes and just gather your breath and gather your thoughts. See how you're feeling? That was fairly powerful yoga practice so far. And release your hands by your sides. Okay, we're going down into Malasana now, or a squat. For those that have knee troubles or find that they have a little bit of trouble coming down into a squat, try having a wall behind you and then just slowly have the feet wider than your shoulders and just see if you can slide down and even use the wall to lean against. Just to come to wherever you feel comfortable with your knees. I'm just going to slowly take myself down, keeping my heart up and forward, my spine straight. You can rest on your knees, maybe come into Pranamasana, prayer pose, or you might be able to lower the butt towards the mat and use the elbows to push the knees apart. So Malasana. Shut down the eyes and again take a few breaths. Make sure you've got the shoulders down away from the ears. Shut down your eyes. Now if you're happy to stay here, stay in your squat, or if you feel you've had enough, you can have option to go into child's pose for a moment, or go into crow, practice crow. So I'm just going to turn side on. So from my squat, I'm going to bring my hands fairly close together, fingers spread, thumbs almost touching. Start to straighten my legs and bring my knees into my armpits or on the outside of my upper arms. Wiggle my feet in together so my heels are touching. And then just practice a little bit of balance. See if you can take a bit of weight onto your upper arms and maybe lift one foot at a time. That might be where you're staying. If you've got crow in your practice, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, looking forward, tighten the belly and take both feet off the ground. So it's powerful arm balance, and that's about my limit. So keep having a little practice and then we will all find our way back onto our bottom. So if you're in child's pose, come over and sit on your bottom. So sitting in staff pose or Dandasana, our legs are hip width apart, our toes are pointing up to the sky, and like when we're standing in Tandasana, we engage and lift and draw up through the soles of our feet, lifting our kneecaps, engaging our thighs, engaging our belly muscles and sitting tall with our shoulders down our back and our heart lifted. Under our chin is parallel to the earth. So let's just sit down here in Dandasana. Shut down your eyes if you'd like. It's a powerful position and engages every muscle of the body. And for many of us that sit stooped in an office chair or in the lounge at night, this is quite an uncomfortable position. You might not have your legs fully straight because your hamstrings are tight. They may be bent up a little. You might even find it's easier to sit up on a rolled up towel or blanket. Let's take a few more breaths here. Okay, now bending our left foot in so the sole is against our right leg. However far you can get that foot up your thigh, it might only be at your calf, depending on your knee and hip mobility. Keep your straight leg out directly in front of you, and from here I want you to sit tall and then slowly slide the backs of the hands along the mat as you take your heart forward towards that foot. So a straight spine. With each exhalation, see if you can soften forward a little more. You might be able to reach your ankle or your shin. You might be able to wrap your fingers around your foot. But remember, we're coming forward, not down. Gradually lengthen the spine as you raise the crown of the head up into the air. Straighten your left leg out and then bend your right foot in by your left leg, facing that forward front leg. Sit tall and fold forward again. Both sides won't necessarily be the same. You'll be different in the flexibility of each side. One side of your back or hips may be quite different to the other. Couple more breaths here. And then let yourself come up slowly and gently. Okay. From here we're going to sit with our knees bent in front of us, our feet on the floor, our hands behind us. Leaning back comfortably, and then let your knees fall to one side and your left knee sitting in next to your right foot. Then you can walk yourself, you can stay leaning back, this might be the pose for you, or you can come up to a seated position and then twist towards the right hip. So twisting around towards the right and then laying forward, I'm going to run out of room here, laying at a right angle to that front leg. So come down onto your elbows. If you've got a bolster, you could have the bolster. So your choice whether you come into the twist and lay towards the mat, or it might be just enough for you to sit up with your legs, left foot pointing back, right foot near your left knee. Okay, slowly make your way up and straighten your legs out in front of you. This time, hands behind, rest back, let the knees fall over to the left. Take the right foot beside you and the left foot by the right knee, and then stay back, leaning back if that's your pose, or walk your hands around to the left and lay, or I've got a convenient bolster here, lay down towards your left for a twist. Okay, making your way up. And then we're going to bring our legs around all the way and lay back onto our back with our knees bent. Up towards the sky. Okay. Bring the heels, walk the heels in as close to your bottom as you can. Keep the feet separated. Find all four corners of those feet, and then we're going to walk our fingers down towards our toes as much as we can, and then lift our hips up into the air for a bridge. Don't let the knees fall apart, and lift the hips up as high as you can. Option one is to stay there. If you'd like to clasp your hands under your back and walk your shoulder blades in together and then lift the hips a little bit more, that's another option. Anyone that would like to take the wheel, and that's part of their practice, can do so. I'm just going to stay here in bridge, taking note of the feeling of that floor under our feet and our shoulders. No pressure on the neck at all. If you've got a dodgy neck, please don't put any pressure on that neck. It should be on the shoulders. Or don't attempt the exercise if you're unsure. Release the shoulders down to the mat and then bring the rest of the body down so that the tailbone hits the mat. Straighten one leg out, so straighten your right leg out. Place your left foot on your right thigh in a half lotus. So placing that ankle on your right thigh, left knee opening up our left hip, hands can relax on the floor for our half lotus position. you can't get that foot up on your thigh and it's down lower, it's fine down lower down your leg, but make sure it's not putting pressure over your kneecap. Slowly release that foot back down to the floor next to the other leg. Just give yourself a moment there. Bringing your right ankle up onto the left leg into half lotus in a lying position. Releasing that foot down beside the other leg. We're going to go into another spinal twist just in case you weren't doing the twist when we were seated before. So bringing the feet, the knees up to the chest and then just letting them fall over to your right. Take your left arm out to the side, left side. Just letting them fall wherever they may be. Trying to keep the shoulders on the ground. The knees might not reach the floor. You can prop them if they don't. You can rest your right hand on that left knee if that's comfortable, or just take it out to the side. Another option is to turn your head gently and look to your left. Turn your head back to centre and gradually assist your knees back to the middle of your body. Right arm out to the side. Let the knees gently fall down to the left. Turn that head to the right if that's comfortable for your neck. Gradually turn your head back to the sky and bring the knees back to point to the sky. Let yourself rest in the middle for a moment. Okay, now we're going to grab behind both knees and pull our knees to the chest. Take them just to the outside of the ribs. So their knees are pointing out a little wider than the body. Then if you can take the heels up and point towards the ceiling, but trying to keep the tailbone down towards the mat rather than lifting the tailbone up. From here you can take the hands to the outsides of the calf or the feet or even the inside of the feet. It's a happy baby. So experiment with your happy baby. You may like to just be in stillness, pulling those knees down, compressing our hip, our groin area. We might like to rock gently from side to side. Choice of even trying to straighten those legs and rocking. Easy to get a little out of control with the rock here though, and falling all to one side. Shut down the eyes and just take a few more breaths here. Gently release the legs down to the mat for our final asana or pose of the night, which is Shavasana. So Shavasana, the legs can be straight or bent, knees together, feet apart to support each other, or maybe a bolster underneath your knees. Grab a blanket if you wish. Let your feet fall outwards and your hands rest wherever they're comfortable. Open palms towards the ceiling, fingers gently curling. Or you might like to have a hand on the heart and the belly. Gently flutter those eyelashes shut. Let your tongue go broad in your mouth. Lips gently kissing each other shut. Let the tension fall from your face. Take a big breath in and even lift the shoulders and then let them sink heavily down onto the mat. Wriggle the butt if you need to and let it spread broadly down. A couple of deep, slow inhalations and exhalations here. Take note of the noises around you. Can you hear my voice for starters? Maybe the music in the background. Maybe the rain or a ticking clock or the children. Take note of those noises and then just pop them aside. See if you can bring attention to your third eye or the space between your eyebrows or even behind your eyelids. And for the next few minutes, try and keep bringing your attention back here and see what you can see, whether you see thoughts or colours or noises. See what you visualize when you focus on that area of your third eye. I'll bring you back from Shavasana soon, but in the meantime, just take your focus there. Bring your attention back to my voice. How did your Shavasana pose go? For some of us it is the hardest pose at all. It is a practice to try and quieten that mental chitter-chatter, to come into stillness, to let our thoughts come and go without getting caught up with them. Sometimes we do bring our attention back to our breath, but how did you go bringing your attention just to your third eye? Shavasana is a great practice to do. It's a practice you can do when you can't sleep at night. Start to wriggle your fingers and your toes. Rub the pad of your thumbs across your fingers. And let yourself roll over to your side. When you're ready, bring your knees up to your chest and rest your head gently on your hands. When you're ready, gradually pushing up with your arm and coming up into a seated position of your choice. Keep your eyes closed down. Bring your hands to heart center and we will finish with 1 Om and 3 peace or shantis. Inhale. Om. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Namaste, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed tonight's practice. If you'd like a quieter practice tomorrow night, we have Yin Yoga, which is at 4 p.m. live on our Facebook site. We're currently in the process of uploading all our videos onto YouTube on the Eden Hope Hospital YouTube site, but I will put those links on our Facebook site. But if you would like to tell anyone that hasn't got Facebook, they can go into YouTube and Google Eden Hope Hospital, and our Eden Hope Hospital YouTube site will come up, and there's lots of different videos on there. So until I see you next, namaste.